And we do have a verdict in this case, and I am hearing that it is a guilty verdict, guilty of murder in this case of Karmelo Anthony. Brooke is moving to the camera right now as we wait for the official word. We expect that this means that they will come out and make a statement at some point.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Chi Rick Chow, as to the charge of murder, not guilty.
I don't care what that jury said. There is no justification for that. It should.
What are you watching?
Bay Area IPTV. And if you touch that dial, you're getting shot.
Y'all, sorry about that, man. I knew something felt off. What up, yo? It's your boy Darren Dickinson, man. We back in the building once again. Hey, make sure you guys subscribe, like and share the video. For those of y'all who are just now tuning in, we are live on Facebook, or you may be watching this on Rick Ross's YouTube channel. For those who watch you live on Facebook, apologies. The YouTubers won't see what happened, so that we had a little microphone challenge, and they didn't have audio for a couple seconds. Yeah, so man, today is crazy because, you know, as y'all heard, man, in the Karmelo Anthony has been convicted of murder in the stabbing death, you know, the whole thing that happened at the track meet under the tent. You know, the dudes approached them, but, you know, and then at the same time, Chow is innocent. You know, I think it's really taken us a long time to fully accept that this is a targeted, layered scheme. It is how America has decided to operate and mold as black people. We didn't listen to Dr. Claude Anderson, you know, when he said, hey, if we don't look up, we'll find ourselves as a permanent third or fourth class citizen. And now with, you know, Trump in office, he's really allowed people to just come out and be themselves. You know, and they have no problem slanting juries. They have no problem passing redistricting laws that you know are going to disenfranchise your people. They have no problem with showing you clearly that the state is administered against black people. Period. We can sit here and try to say something else and, oh, you know, this or that. Yeah, you don't get me wrong. The dude shouldn't have had a knife, but if he didn't have a knife and he got stomped to death, they would have still said he provoked it. Now, and there used to be a time when we could look forward to maybe some future justice down the road where maybe if it gets to the Supreme Court, nah, that's over too, man. So now we are in a situation where we haven't established ourselves as having any political power. We are, hell, we don't even vote. And I'm not saying vote Democrat or Republican. I'm just saying we don't even vote to be in a position to say you deserve our vote. You should demand our vote. You need to do what we want you to do for our vote, because we don't vote. This is episode Discovering Distrust, man, where we're in a whole distrusted mood today, y'all. And the thing is that we are starting to publish a lot of really great content. There's an article up right now that we released about, you know, they shoot the firemen. It's a play on the article was written about Dr. King talking to Harry Belafonte. So Dr. King and Harry Belafonte are talking, and you guys heard the famous quote, hey, I think that I've integrated my people into a burning house, right? And the burning house metaphor is used by Dr. King to really talk about how he's realizing in 1968 that the architecture, the framework of America is corrupt, corrosive, evil, and by bringing us and integrating us into it through love and through passive resistance, we would never change the culture of this country. And so he goes on to say, you know, Harry Belafonte asked him, well, shoot, if you feel like after all this that we've done, now this is 68, this is after Brown versus Board of Education, this is after Kennedy's killed, this is after passage of the Voting Rights Act, this is after Selma Montgomery, all the stuff you're not the king for, this is years after that. 3 years after that. All the great work, March on Washington, all that stuff, this is years after that. And he's pivoting. Dr. King was probably about to link up with the radicals. And they bumped him off. They bumped him off because he realized and started to articulate probably some stuff similar, closer to what Elijah Muhammad was saying, Malcolm X was saying, about the nature of the races, not all white people, but the nature of the races and how they had baked themselves into the power structure and the infrastructure of this country. And just by, even if you convince mass millions of people to accept you, that still don't change on the job. All it takes is one. They still don't take in the schoolhouse. All it takes is one. Still don't take being stopped in the street. All it takes is one. And then when the machinery starts lining against you, don't matter if the one is right or wrong, they're going to side with the one. So there was never any way that any of those white kids was going to tell the truth about Karmelo. Let that settle. They was never going to tell the truth about Karmelo. And so I wrote an article talking about what Dr. King was speaking on, but also pulling in the conversation that Tupac had at the Black Expo in 1993. I think a lot of people have heard this conversation, but they've taken it out of context, right? What do I mean they've taken it out of context? I mean that they only hear the cussing or the angry parts, or you don't hear the beginning. I'm gonna challenge you to go listen for it, go look for it. I'm probably not sure I'll post it on Rick's channel, on my page, on I'm a Geyser. For those who know, that's my Instagram. I'm a Geyser right there, Instagram. What you'll see and what you'll hear is he doesn't start with the Afeni Shakur that we know today and we love. He starts with Afeni Shakur, the crackhead. And he talks about how after the movement, after everything was over, by the 80s, he was in Oakland living with a mama on crack. That, you know, the reason the article is called They Shoot the Firemen is because Dr. King said to Harry Belafonte, well, we'll just have to become firemen stamping out injustice. What Dr. King didn't realize that, no, after you gone, bro, they're going to start shooting the firemen. And so at the time, you know, there was a conversation about the lyrics in rap, a conversation about this, and you glorifying this and glorifying that. No, it was never about glorifying anything. It was trying to help America see and diagnose a condition. And the parallels I'm making that if the firemen are seen as a threat to the fire, it don't matter what you are. Doctor, lawyer, policeman, Indian chief, don't matter what you are. They're gonna look at you and just see a nigga. And Tupac at the time, you know, they asked him not to cuss, they asked him all these different things. They asked him to do things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And that's what Tupac was trying to communicate. That we all cuss. Now, you might sit around in a group with your suit and tie on, your Sunday best, and not cuss. But we all cuss. So why is there such a problem with him cussing? To get a point across, something like that. See, everything with Tupac, man, it was never really about what we was dealing with. It was always about control, system control. For all y'all tapping in, it's your boy Darren Dickerson, Discovering Distrust. We in a distrusting mood today, really digging into how twisted, crazy, and perverted American culture has come for Black people. I think that we have just now, or we are at a place where now we gotta have a level of acceptance and say, yeah, they really got it in for us. Man, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy, but I love the Asian dude that came out talking about Black people, and now the Asians is all. Let it get off your chest. Get it out. We need to see. Our people need to see what's really going on. I'm less concerned about what y'all saying. I'm less concerned about what y'all think about us, and I'm more concerned about waking up. Man, don't y'all realize that at the end of Spike Lee's movie, Do the Right Thing, he's screaming, "Wake up!" Bet y'all asses woke now. I mean, I'm laughing because the saying didn't make you laugh, make you cry. Ever heard that? So, the Tupac, the truth about the Tupac situation is that we have a generational rift that Tupac was trying to highlight and trying to get us to see and understand. But for whatever reason, we couldn't hear it. And so this article is called They Shoot the Firemen, Prophecy of a Thug. Sorry, y'all. Like I said, it's called They Shoot the Firemen, Prophecy of a Thug. It's right now up on inglewoodiptv.com. And I wrote it. So, of course, I feel it's provocative. But I really try to bring together some themes that I don't think the mainstream media will ever touch. And but it's really at or in the heart of what we need to be talking about right now. Is we never healed this rift. We never healed the rift of the civil rights generation, the hip hop culture. Yeah, we've coexisted, but we haven't unified and we haven't rallied. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that at the time we were so focused on progress and uplift that we just didn't really accept what was going on. What's my time, y'all? And now that we see what's going on, there's so much anger, envy, jealousy, hostility, the whole nine, right? But a lot of that came from the fact that some of our parents was in the movement, and then the older generation didn't support them, and they didn't fell out with their parents, and it's crazy how Sigmund Freud be right, or these psychologists be right. Somebody always come back to your mama, but I do believe, I sincerely believe, I have no choice but to hope and believe that now we have a real window. Now we have a real opportunity. Now we can realistically sit down and see if we can talk to each other about what's happening, because they content to kill us, go into court, swear on the Bible, everything. And there's no grace. There's no, he was a kid. Man, that man ran out the store, chased behind the dude, shot him in the back, and then tried to say, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown. I mean, the police don't got to do it no more. They have opened up the license to kill, but it's been a systematic governmental conspiracy that committed the most mass murders, the most destruction of the family. So, we're going to get into the Iran-Contra. We're going to get into but right now we talking about Dr. King's last statement, one of Tupac's early statements, but they're both trying to have the same conversation with the black community, but from a different perspective. Pac is from the perspective of, I see what they doing now. Not the fight y'all was fighting then, right? The one thing about, I was in the military, right? And you can never hit an enemy the same way twice, because whatever loss of life, whatever injury, whatever casualty, whatever you just suffered, if you suffered none, that was the first time you hit them that way. Well, the enemy is going to learn. They're going to fortify. They're going to be prepared. So, in the article we talk about how there has never been a period in black history and culture where black progress wasn't met with the most violent, racist reprisals ever. So what are we really saying? They killed this young man. They murdered him in cold blood. And they walk free. So, we are at a very important crossroads. We are facing a monumental task, especially with the elections coming. More than ever, we need to focus on unity within our own community. There's no option now for anybody who doubted what's really going on. You need to wake up and check it out. Because they even got black people saying he deserved it.
Knowledge of yourself, and with the greater knowledge of nature, you must know what is good and what is not. You must know what is finite. You must know that which is material, physical, and otherwise.
America, welcome to IPTV.